If you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams and you will always look lovely. With this beautiful thought, I, Arpita Tripathi, welcome you all to my channel and your learning platform, The World of Chemistry. Today, I'll continue my discussion from the last topic, atomic structure. So, to know about my latest updates, do the needful. Today we'll learn about how to frame formulas by applying crisscross method. But before that, let's know first what is a formula. Formulas are combinations of symbols that represent a compound. A formula indicates which elements are involved and the number of atoms of each element present in that compound. While writing formulas, we use subscripts and brackets in addition to the symbols of the element. Subscripts indicate the number of atoms of an element, as in H2, where 2 is the subscript meaning 2 hydrogen atoms. Likewise, O2. 2 represents the number of 2 oxygen atoms present. If there is no subscript with a symbol, it is assumed that there is only one atom of that element. For example, sodium, we write it as Na. So there is no subscript, that's why it represents presence of one atom of sodium. Brackets are used to separate the radical from the rest of the formula when it would be confusing. For example, in this example I have taken Fe2CO3 whole 3. So this represents the difference For example, here I have taken Fe2CO3 whole 3. It represents whole 3 means this 3 belongs to carbon as well as 3 oxygen atoms. Now let's see the rules which we should follow while writing the chemical formula. First is write the correct symbols of the elements. Above each symbol, which correct valency should be written. To obtain the proper subscript, crisscross the valency and then drop the algebraic sign. In this example, I have taken aluminium nitrate. Aluminium is symbolized as Al, nitrate is symbolized as NO3. Their charges are aluminium is +3 and nitrate is -3. So, up to this we'll have to write, and then this -1, it becomes the subscript for aluminium, and this +3 becomes the subscript for nitrate. But we'll have to drop the charge sign. For example, here potassium iodide, symbol of potassium is K, symbol of iodide is I. Charge of potassium is +1 and iodide is -1. As because both the charges are same, so the formula ultimately that we got is Ki. And same is for sodium sulfate. But sodium, its charge is +1, sulfate is -2. So this -2 will become the subscript for sodium and this +1 will become the subscript for SO4. But remember, we'll have to drop the charges. That's why this 2, it comes and it is placed here in this position, and as because 1 is there, so we are not putting anything here, and the formula we get is Na2SO4. Second rule is when the subscript is number 1, then the subscript is not written. For example, potassium hydroxide. Here K is having the charge +1. and hydroxide has -1, as because the subscript for both potassium and hydroxide will be 1. That's why we are neglecting the subscript here and we get the formula as KOH. In case of sodium chloride, sodium is Na+1 and Cl is -1. So, as because both the subscripts are present as 1, so we have neglected it and the formula we get is NaCl. Students, remember, while writing the formula, while framing the formula, we need to write the metal first and then followed by the non-metal. So here in potassium hydroxide, potassium is the metal, hydroxide is the non-metal. In sodium chloride, sodium is the metal and chloride is the non-metal. Third rule is when the valence of both elements are numerically equal but greater than 1, then also the subscript is not written. For example, iron 2 oxide. Here the charge for iron is +2 and for oxide is -2. But as both are same, that's why here also we neglect the subscript and the formula we get is FeO. In case of calcium oxide, same formula is CaO. Fourth rule is all radicals take more than once. That is, if the subscript is 2 or more, it must be enclosed in brackets. So let's check the example. Iron 3 carbonate. For this, Fe is having charge +3 and CO3 is having -2. So the subscript for Fe becomes 2 and the subscript for CO3 becomes 3. That's why while writing the formula, we have to place Fe2 here. Then, as because carbonate is having 2 types of atoms, so for that reason the subscript 3 will be for both, and this is the reason why we separate it by giving a bracket, and it is pronounced as Fe2CO3 whole 3. Same case for ammonium oxide. Ammonium is NH4+1 and oxide is O-2. So the subscript for NH4 becomes 2 and the subscript for O becomes 1, and ultimately we get the formula NH4 whole 2 O. Now let's frame some formula by ourselves. Suppose I want to frame formula for zinc oxide. I want to frame for zinc oxide. So we will have to write the symbol first. That is, for zinc it is Zn, for oxide it is O, and then we'll write its charge. Zinc is +2, oxide is -2. While crisscrossing it, as because the subscript for both will become same, so ultimately the formula we'll get is ZnO. Now let's frame formula for one more, calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. So the symbol for calcium is Ca and hydroxide is OH. Ca is +2, OH is -1. As the subscript for both will change, so by crisscrossing it, the subscript for Ca will be 1, so we are not supposed to mention it, but the subscript for OH will be 2, as because here both elements are present, so we'll have to give one bracket and we'll get the formula at last, CaOH whole 2. So students, I hope Framing formula will become easy for you by looking or by checking this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.